Hey guys, welcome to the Stroll Show. It's our inaugural podcast, inaugural radio broadcast coming at you live from Radio Free Brooklyn. This is your host Flo. Sitting across from me is the C.
It's good.
How's it going, guys? How we doing? All right. Yeah, this is this is an interesting conundrum we have ourselves in because we originally started this show as a podcast back in my parents' basement about
many moons ago.
Many moons ago. So basically, we went from the basement, and then Paul and I are roommates as well, and we moved into an apartment. So we were on the third floor of the apartment, podcasting out of there, and now we have moved back into the basement. This time in Bushwick, because originally from Bay Ridge, and now here we are. So Paul, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Am I hot? Is my mic hot?
You look a little hot. I'm gonna bring you down a pinch.
I wanna spread the audio cream cheese.
Oh yeah.
For the morning date. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're glad to be here on Radio Free Brooklyn. It's been a long time in the making, right? It's been, how many months have we been in the works with this Flow?
I mean, it's had to have been. It's like 5 months. It's been a long time.
At least. And I think we first found out about Radio Free, was it in September of last year? Right?
Yeah, we were
backstage at the 90s Fest.
Oh yeah, we got those nice passes. Those media passes.
Can I just say, you sound creamy.
I'm laying it on there
There's
for you
little
guys.
chives in that morning cream cheese.
Yeah, no, sorry. We were.
A couple of, is that veggie cream cheese?
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it very very healthy today.
But yeah,
that's low fat as well.
So we met a host of a show backstage, and the name of Liam McEnany, right?
That is correct.
Backstage at the 90s Fest, and he had a show on Radio Free, and he was there basically interviewing bands, and we shot the shit with him a little bit, and that's how we found out about this, and here we are today. The dream lives, and the dream has come true.
All into fruition right now.
So just a little background on the show, I guess, is we're going to be kind of frequently having guests. I don't want to lock us in every week. I'm just saying frequently. We'll have frequent guests, different local musicians and artists and comedians. We'll get and if you want to come on the show, reach out to us. Yeah. Strollpodcast@gmail.com. I believe that's it, right?
That is it.
For all booking inquiries.
Yeah, it's usually us to answer. We don't have another person.
Yeah, no, we don't have an intern yet.
Not yet. One day, I think we can do that.
I think we're still in intern phase ourselves.
Yeah, no, that's why we're a little hiccup in this in the beginning here, but we've went in seamlessly. Now we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, we're rolling and strolling. So I guess this week is a momentous occasion for us because we're having my band is the focus of the show.
It is, yeah. But this is
so I mean, what better time than when you get your own radio show to promote your own band? You might as well take advantage of what little drippings come off the bone, right? So my band is named Cinema, and we've been trying to get my cousin, my bandmate, my brother King,
and my friend,
and Steve's friend,
and fantasy baseball manager as well in my league.
Yes, manager of the Shit Sandwich.
That's right. They always put up a fight. I'll tell you that.
The team it was a 2-word review for the team. It was Shit Sandwich.
Yeah, it's a very good name.
So my cousin, bandmate, brother King, Ev Gold, from my band Cinema, is going to regale us with tales of the circus.
Welcome, Ev.
And I think maybe we want to cue up another song, perhaps.
You got some this a new jam from Cinema.
I think we're not gonna debut anything yet.
Not yet. We're gonna save that for a little bit.
Yeah, that'll be maybe a future episode.
I see what you guys are doing. I see Ev. He's smiling.
But I think if I can find the song, I think we're gonna, since we're in an area close to the Gowanus, kind of, not really, but we're in Brooklyn, right? We have a song that was on our last record that we did with Martin BC in his studio, BC Studios.
Oh, yes.
In the Gowanus, we have a song called Gowanus Ghost, which maybe we'll have Ev tell a little of the backstory.
A little tale on it.
After that. So hang on, let's cue the song up.
We're doing that. So could I welcome Ev formally at this moment?
Would you like to do that now or after?
I would like to do it now because
Okay.
I feel like Ev is like he's kind of stuck in the corner. He's like
He was waiting patiently.
he's a
It's
trouble-
not very easy for him to stay quiet.
I know I just see him
As
waiting to
far
go. So I just want to introduce
All right,
him real
let's
quick.
Put the quarter. We're putting the quarter in Ev right now. Here
Yeah,
we go.
put him in, shake it up. All right. I just want to give him.
You got 7 minutes of silence so far out of me. I sat here holding my my mud as long as I could. I'm very, very happy to be here. It is a pleasure and an honor. I am Ev Gold, the guy they said that I am. I am in a band with the co-host of the show, Paul Claro, called Cinema Cinema. Our beloved Stephen Flo is the other co-host of the show that I'm here with. He's been a long-time supporter of our band. Long before there was a Stroll podcast, Stephen Flo was there showing up for us. So it is full circle. It is kind of immediate and insane to be on and live.
Yeah, it was a hot transition. It was a hot tag. It was a hot tag.
It's like Stroll season 2. You know, it's a whole new animal now. So I'm psyched to be the starting point with you guys. And I'll get out of the way for a sec if you want to go ahead and get some of the music on, because I will just keep on going and going unless I'm stopped.
Yeah, let's enjoy some tunes, and then we can talk about the tune.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. All right, guys. So this
play,
is Go On as Ghost,
Go
right?
On
We're
as
doing that
Ghost.
one? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Let it go. Radio Free Brooklyn.
Here we go.
To live
All right.
Yeah, there we go.
That's Gowanus Ghost by my band Cinema Cinema. Here today on our inaugural, first ever live Stroll show on Radio Free Brooklyn with my cousin and bandmate of the band Cinema Cinema, F. Gold, sitting directly to my. Is it my right? My left? It's my left.
It's your left this time.
Yes,
My right.
It's your left this time.
Immediate right. So let's talk about that song a little bit because I feel like there's a lot to unpack there. There's a lot to unpack.
That was a nice track.
Thank you,
Very nice.
thank you, Steve. I
You're
appreciate that. It sounded very nice on the nice equipment here as well.
Yeah,
it was a treat.
I
It was a treat.
bumping.
I concur. Sounded lovely. Thank you, Steve. And pleasure to be here. Gowanus Ghost. Oh boy. Linchpin of that record. That's the Night at the Fights album that we put out in August of 14, right after we got home from a crazy, wild, insane tour opening for Black Flag all across North America. So that album goes back a little bit. But in rearranging our current set, because we've been kind of trying to evolve into getting new material out into the world in a live capacity, Gowanus Ghost has reemerged. So it's kind of relevant to lead everybody in right now. If that was the first you've heard of Cinema Cinema, it's not a bad little cross-section of what the kind of belt that would be whipping down on your back.
Standard fare.
Yes, the belt on your back! I'm sorry, I have to contain myself. But yeah, that
Someone
was...
somewhere was just like, Gah!
Yeah, someone's like, oh God, Radio Free Brooklyn!
It's free.
Isn't this supposed to be Jazz Hour? Oh, shit, we got this psychopath we got the clown on show 1.
The jester. I'm using us.
The core jester, yes.
Yeah, no, Gowanus Ghost is now becoming a feature in the new set we've been crafting. That is a set that's based around playing new material from the new album we've been working on with that same producer who did A Night at the Fights. His name is Martin Bisi. We are blessed to be in his
Hashtag
orbit.
blessed.
Hashtag blessed. We love you, Martin, and we are very, very grateful to get a chance to have made our art and created art with him on that album. And we have a new album that will not be debuting anything new from today here, but maybe it could be on an upcoming Stroll.
Exclusive?
Could be an exclusive that happens.
Perhaps, perchance.
But
what I wanted to kind of talk about, I guess, is a little bit of the background of that song specifically because it was the fruit of a specific experience and a trying time in the band.
Oh yes.
So if you want to spin the yarn of that, I mean, I've obviously heard it multiple times.
Well, you lived it.
I lived it. I was there. I remember everything about it. It was a hard day in the cinema history, but it was also a triumphant day.
Yes.
And Ev tells it the best.
It was also a hard day for the city. A hard day for the city as well.
Yes, it was. So the day was, of course, the day Hurricane Sandy hit. And Ev would like to take it from there.
Gowanus Ghost is a direct product of that experience as far as if one song kind of came along through all of the inspiration and the aftermath that is directly related to that. It is Gowanus Ghost. Hurricane Sandy hit, rocked, destroyed, messed up, erased, deleted, abolished a lot of area in Brooklyn that had never seen something like that before. We didn't think it was possible here when the hurricane hit. That was October of 2012. It's crazy to think that it's over 3.5 years ago because what happened in that storm is Paul and I lost all of our gear and our entire practice space that day. Was one of the losses of so many people had so many losses that it was almost minor in regard to where other people lost their homes.
It's hard to compare it, but in a microcosm, it's for everybody it has their own.
Everyone had their own disasters happen that day,
Exactly. So we rehearsed right in the heart of the Gowanus at the time. Our practice space, Savaria Studios on 9th Street, basically right on the canal. It wasn't so much rainfall from the hurricane, it was the canal surging as the world kind of goes upside down.
Which we didn't even really think about because
we were there 48 hours before.
Yeah,
and it was fine.
There's water directly behind the building, and we're just like,
but
what's going to happen?
But you know what? Because because the Gowanus Canal is like super polluted, and secondly, it's a very stagnant body of water. So you would never expect anything to make it flood or rise or with the tides or anything like that.
You just wouldn't think. You just wouldn't
It
think.
rising is one that I never thought could be.
I couldn't imagine it either. And especially you guys walking in there after looking at all the equipment that was all all stanky.
Seven rooms became one big swirled up room.
Yeah,
right? I mean, there was no walls anymore. It was just all like leveled.
Yeah.
It's such a shame.
We were finding things from other people's practice spaces in our space. You know what I mean? It was crazy.
It was insane. It was a space that we shared with the band The Giraffes. They had previously shared it with the band Fresh Kills. Like a lot of...
it had history. It had history there.
A lot of artists, a lot of musicians that we're connected to that are connected to a lot of good stuff that happened in
It was
Brooklyn.
very lived in, too. It was very lived in. It was
a great
really
space.
Expensive equipment there.
It was a great space. It was a great space. It was quite a catastrophe. So the day that came for us to go down and check it out, basically / drag out our destroyed stuff / mourn the loss, because, as we said, so many people lost larger things that this was going to be smaller in the scale of would we ever be reimbursed or see any sort of justice. There's no justice when nature makes its decisions. So we went down there on Halloween. That was about 2 days after the storm.
I forgot that was Halloween.
Yeah, it was Halloween, October 31st, 2012. Paul and I got down to the space. It was a traffic jam over there because people were just trying to get around to their loved ones and bring supplies to them. We had to park about 2 blocks away and walk down in. We got to the front door, and the owner of the space and his wife were in tears, handing us insurance forms and face masks with nothing to say but weeping and a hug. We went into the space, and it was all as if God kind of, played dice with it. It was, huge amps, drums.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, like drums, people from other rooms, walls broken down. Needless to say, Paul and I lost more or less 85% of our stuff that day. But
Except the magical Gretsch drum kit.
Yeah.
That I let the seeping, disgusting, toxic sludge drip out of over the course of days and weeks.
Do you still have that?
I still have it. I still play it to this day.
It dripped out in my living room, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
did it walk on its own after you guys did that?
Well,
it still sounds great.
You want to talk about the rash that you guys?
My goodness!
You concocted
a little chemical burn.
Let me get through the rest of this afternoon's story. I don't mean today's afternoon. I mean the afternoon I'm trying to talk about. So we're down there, and we're mind blown at the fact that we're just having to accept the terms, which are all our stuff's destroyed as per the hurricane. So we're dragging our stuff out to the sidewalk in uniform with other bands that are there dragging the stuff out. I guess some people were literally just leaving it there for the garbage to pick up at one point when sanitation would start over. But Hurricane Sandy kind of really, really put a muzzle on everything for the city. I mean, there was just no movement anywhere from any of the major main services. So people were just leaving stuff to eventually become junk. We decided we were going to drag every last piece out and get it on the sidewalk and just see what we had there before we made any decisions as far as should we throw it away, should we not throw it away. The rash comes later on in the story when we decide to keep it all. We'll get to that next. But here we are, Paul and I, and we have face masks on. We're dragging out our broken stuff. We're just two cousins. We do this because in the real of it, after 8 years, we do it because we love it and it keeps us sane and it means something to us. Not any longer for other accolades or to kind of achieve some kind of thing. There is no thing. That's the secret. If you're a musician and you're listening,
we already have the money.
Yeah, we already.
They've got the fame already.
We already made the big dollar. We made the Gary Geffen dollar.
That was an exact quote, by the way, from that.
The big money.
I don't the big money, but also we already have the money. I believe. Who was the bassist of Poison?
Bobby Dahl.
Bobby Dahl.
Listen, we already have the money.
You remember that, right?
Yeah.
What is that's the decline of Western civilization part.
Thank you for injecting some levity into that. So, as it's been established, we do already have the money.
Yeah.
But we drag all of our gear out, and we're laying it on the sidewalk, and I look up the street, and coming down the street is this short, long-haired, wizard-looking small gentleman. And because I'm such an insane student of music, an insane ultra-mega psycho fan first, and that's what made me a musician, I know from a block away, I could see that this guy's Martin Bisi. I don't know why I have face recognition on these kind of people. It's just that I've lived my life looking into and trying to find out more and more about these inspirational figures that have meant a lot to me, and he was one of them, and he continues to be one of them. I never thought he'd come into Paul and my orbit, but so happens that the hurricane brought us to that.
Yeah. And Martin is producer of a lot of amazing music, from Herbie Hancock to Sonic Youth and Africa Bambaataa, all in between.
Yeah, that's
Helmet and Swans, and he's done, I mean, Ginger Baker. He's had everybody you could think of has made music with Martin. Everybody you can think of. It's such an amazing, insane blessing to have come into his orbit, and it happened in this natural fashion. We look down the block, and I see Martin Bisi walking down the block. Now, I know, as of legend, that he's recorded somewhere nearby in the Gowanus for the last 25, 30 years at the time. I didn't know where, but I did know that that was true. So it kind of equated to some sort of logic that maybe he's walking around his neighborhood seeing the destruction, and that's exactly what he was doing. He didn't expect to be called over by strangers, myself and Paul.
But you were the one that called out to him.
Yeah.
I was like, Evan knows this guy.
That's but how do you've seen pictures of him before to know that was him?
Yeah,
yeah.
That's what I was wondering.
I had enough CDs on my shelf growing up that had this Martin Bisi guy producer on it, and that I didn't purposely go out to buy them because I was collecting the BC collection.
Yeah.
It just so happened this cross section of all this great music that was important to me happened to be stuff made by this guy. I Googled him.
You Googled him at age 8,
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Ed was a curious little man.
Yes.
At a young age.
Yes, this truth begins to come out. But anyway, I call Martin over. He gets within earshot of us, and I'm like, "Hey, Martin," and he's like, "Yeah."
He's like, who's this guy?
And I'm like, oh, hey, man, you don't know us, but it's okay. We know you.
Come on over.
Come to the sludge.
And
Come on in.
that literally was the beginning of our relationship with Martin right there. We bonded over the destruction, the mayhem, the topsy-turvy conditions of our seemingly consistently solid Brooklyn at the time, under nature's attack. We bonded there.
Well, he had damage done too, right?
He had some damage done, and every single musician he knew in that area had damage done.
Oh wow! So it was like a whole community just kind of washed away.
I mean, there were, the sight of people all along the blocks bringing out gear, and I mean not just gear, but like people's businesses. I'm sure were ruined over there.
Yeah, I assume people lived. Well, I don't know if people really live over there. Maybe. Well, you don't know where people live anymore.
Hard to
I feel
say,
like people live in any available space in the city now. But
anyone who had anything going on near that canal, live, work, walk, whatever, I mean, was basically effed. To keep it, PG-13.
Thank you.
There was no. I'm trying to. Please, I'm trying.
He's behaving his very best today.
So hard
Sweet
today.
bitch. He's a
so
sweet bitch.
hard
He's a sweet
today. It's like they shot me with a trank on my way in. Like, calm him down. Calm him down.
It's like this zoo giraffe. We're kind of trying to keep him sane inside the studio.
I needed my personal assistant Monty to come in. You wouldn't let him come.
Monty,
come in, Monty. No. He said, "No, Monty, get down. This is about Ev today." No.
It's happening. It's all happening.
Yeah,
He's
I'm
outside
sorry.
in the
I'm
limo
sorry.
waiting for Ev to leave.
Excuse me.
But
Knock. Get back to the story.
Yeah, to reel it back, ultimately, we said to Martin after discussing, the horror, with all the gear laying at our feet, you said, as you are wont to do.
Let's book a gig. Let's play a gig. And Martin looked at us and we looked at him, and for that second we really genuinely laughed because everything we had was broken and there wasn't going to be a gig right then. But 3 months later, within a few weeks, Paul and I had rebounded because of so much beautiful support.
I like the way you said that, by the way. Rebounded.
Yeah,
That's a nice. That's
yes.
like an English term.
We had
Old English.
in the cinema tradition. When we were at our lowest, we fought no matter what, and we got back to it. But within a few weeks after that, we did play that gig with Martin, and this great natural, organic relationship began, where we went on about a year's worth of time just playing gigs, opening for his band, and then we wound up going to Europe opening for his band.
Yeah, that gig that we played was the first gig we played with him that wound up being very fortuitous as well.
Was that the? Did you do a benefit for the lost?
Yes,
the lost
that was
equipment
January of 2013, and at that gig happened to be this booking agent that had done some shows that Martin had done on his previous European tour, and he was planning on going back, and we were dying to get to Europe for the first time. And everything kind of came of that show to kind of open this door to us going to Europe for the first time, which was in late 2013, opening for Martin for about 2.5 weeks, doing 5 countries. And since then, we've been very fortunate that it's kind of sprung open this new peak hole into some sort of a sustainable career path option that we've been continuing to take and following the path back to Europe over and over, as they seem to really be a bit more accepting and open-minded of our outsider, insane, slamming your head into the wall kind of approach to the art that we do there. I'm not saying that we haven't had amazing times all across America, but where really it seems like being more sought after at a higher clip in the last few years, we're going to be we've gone there a number of times, and I mean, it just, to briefly break a little bit of, to break a
Oh, yeah, hang on. Stroll.
This is exclusive right here.
There's a turkey just walked in.
It's the Stroll turkey. The Stroll turkey. We got new breaking news from the Stroll turkey. We got months before Thanksgiving. I'm still alive. Anyway, that was horrifying attempts at comedy, but what we do have...
we bring to you on the Stroll. That's right.
Yeah. We are in, right now, cinema. Paul and myself will be returning, it looks as though, pretty much definitely this August to now for the first time get a chance to do some festivals along with regular size gigs. And these aren't, it's not Glastonbury. I don't want any, it's not Reading.
Leeds Music Festival.
There's festivals of all sizes, shapes, colors, and denominations that go on through festival season over in Europe. And we've gone over now enough times, 3 in the last 18 months to be exact, that we've been asked on to a couple of them in some areas that we've hit a bunch of times, and we're going to be going back at the end of August. That's been something we haven't really let fly till now. So it's being let fly. That was the whole turkey thing. We won't bring the turkey back, but when you have breaking news on the
Put it in the other room.
I like the Stroll
there.
turkey. I feel like that's a decent mascot.
We can make that into a stuffed animal.
For the time being,
You can hang out with the flamingo.
until the flamingo's available. See, they couldn't get the flamingo for my show.
Oh, I should bring
So
the
I had to
flamingo.
bring my own
I have
turkey.
I have the inflatable flamingo in the my closet actually, so we can bring that.
Sound investments for the podcast.
That was like $12 on Oriental Trade. Like,
Sound
you remember
investment.
that site? You remember that Oriental Trade? It was like when you were in like 6th grade or something, getting stickers. But so so you guys have both been working now with Martin Beasley on album number 2.
Yes,
and as it seems to be, there was a little more something happened while you guys were recording. The last time.
There's more
heartbreak.
More heartbreak.
More heartbreak.
Yeah.
I want to remind you guys of some heartbreak. Let me bring that in here.
We've only been talking about it the entire time, but let's go deeper into it.
It gets uplifting because you see the sense of community. People rally around you guys.
Yes.
And it makes it all worthwhile.
That's a really good call because...
Well put, Stephen.
Thank you.
Because
Good evening, everybody.
And I'm out.
To tie in directly, thank you, Mr. Flo, to tie in directly, in our recovery from the hurricane, it was outreach from our supporters is, what we could only really call them. I think if you're some humongous band, you say, my fans, all of our fans. But when you're a band like us who this is passionately going after it at all costs, regardless, it's our supporters, people who believe in us or want to see us at least to continue to do what we do. We bounced back when we lost All That Gear in 2012 via a huge outpouring from our supporters then, and as a sign, I guess, of that we still have that support, or at least of a sign that we're still doing what we should be doing. We did suffer another calamity just recently at the start of recording of the new album. And again, our supporters are the ones who kind of came to our aid. But we are in the midst right now of working on our second album with Martin Beasley. It's our fourth album, our fourth full-length overall. It's finished, but it's not mastered. So there's still that gray area of, do we need to do anything else to it? It's still kind of not an entirely, finite piece. And we're also making different considerations in how we're going to go about releasing this one. We might take a different path than we've taken in the past. It might not be a DIY effort. It might be a more collective effort with some other entities, but we're not sure about any of that stuff yet. That stuff we'll talk about as it all develops. But that new album will come out probably start of next year. But what happened was, as we started to record that album...
Tell us, Ev.
Yes.
Tell us, please.
Let's get down to the nit and the grit. Okay, yes. Can you feel this?
I like when we all talk very slow and sensually.
It's like
Hey,
real
guys.
radio. Oh, it's like it's late night stroll.
Yeah, I wish we were at night because we could be
Late
like,
night stroll.
"Good evening, everybody." How's
Well,
it
that's
going?
what it started as, late night stroll. That's
It
where we
did.
got that's where we got the name. The show
Forcing us to
from.
wake up early now. But
Yeah.
Ev, sorry,
Hey,
continue, please.
continue.
We can just talk in this voice all day.
Skanking on the late night stroll. Please allow me to continue on my way, please. Okay. So, what happened was, Paul and I were
on the eve of going back to Europe for the second time last year in November. We were starting to record the album a week previous at the end of October of 2015 with Martin, this new album. We go in. We have a really great first day. First session feels really good. We go back the second day. We have an even better session. We're feeling really great about the work that we're doing. Nothing could stop us now. We leave. We head home. At the time, our beloved Mets were in the postseason. I believe it might have been almost World Series time. So things were really right in cinema world at this specific moment in time. We're 2 sessions into recording an album with a prolific genius producer who allows us to be a part of his circle. We're feeling really good about it. Our Mets are in this bizarro world where they are the best team in the National League, maybe the best team in all of baseball, and they're competing to get to the World Series. Nothing could go wrong, but something can always,
as is
go wrong.
Customary with cinema. We have the ultimate highs and the absolute bottom bitch lowest of lows.
Keeping everybody humble.
Lows.
Yeah. We're like Iron Sheik, keeping humble all the time.
Jabroni suplex humble.
I break your neck, I make you humble.
Yeah, we've understood. We definitely have gratitude for the amount of humbling circumstances we've been through, allowing us to kind of, deal from a real feet on the ground scenario.
Not that I ever thought humbling was necessary, but it's nice every once in a while. It's okay. It's fine.
When you first come
Don't
along,
have too much fun, guys, out there.
When you first come along, it's like, ooh, MTV, Ink in the Stone. I gotta get Ink in the Stone, Rolling Stone. That's where I want to be. I want to be a YouTube celebrity. Hang on, I want to be on Instagram fame. But then you don't think, I want to be humbled. I want to have my things taken from me. But anyway,
which is ultimately
where we're headed with this. To get back down to the late night stroll.
Let's get back in, guys.
Skanking
Oh,
on
hello.
Stroll.
I was away for a minute, and now I'm back.
Let's get back. Let's focus again.
How can I get this voice lower?
I wish I heard this in my head all the time when I spoke.
Can we get a little bit lower? It's like at that wedding reception. Exactly. Now. Your uncle's going crazy. His cummerbund broke. Oh shit! No, hang on.
He's having a little too much anisette. He's drinking a couple, 2-3 anisettes.
He's having the witch after dinner. Anyway, so 2 sessions into recording the album, we have another session scheduled for the next day. I head home. Things are great. Mets are deep in the playoffs. Go to sleep.
And the Mets were in the middle of destroying the Cubs at this point.
Yeah, that was awesome. I kind of took the playoffs. We took them for granted, I think, at that point. But regardless,
but
regardless.
Listen, Cubs fans, you wonder why we're not scared of you? Remember what we did to you in the playoffs. Period.
Yeah.
Drop the mic.
Let's see where you are again this year. But last time I saw you were in our rearview mirror, bro.
Oh.
Anyway, that's just for the Cubs fans out there. Directly at you, Chicago.
Throwing shade at Chi-Town.
Yeah,
come and knock on our door. Anyway, so to get back, to get back, my phone's buzzing and buzzing and buzzing and buzzing and buzzing through the night. I slept through most of the buzzing, but eventually it got to me. It was almost 2 a.m. I look, it's Martin. He's trying to call. This is the 11th or 12th missed call. I know it must be something. In the immediate semi-moment, as I go to pick the phone up, I immediately suss out in my mind what it must be. It must be that he had a hard drive crash and he lost everything we worked on that day.
Or maybe he was calling because he was so good. He was listening to them.
Or that.
He couldn't wait. He couldn't wait to get you guys.
Or that. I had to call you and let you know you slammed these tracks.
Yes. Or he had surmised that we had slammed those tracks and it was keeping him up. But I at
losing
least
sleep over those tracks.
From all these different humbling moments in my life and doing cinema and beautiful, gracious moments, I just tried to be logical. In that moment, I was like, that's it. He lost all the tracks, but you know what? Paul and I are hot right now. We felt great today.
Hot hand.
I'm going to tell Martin it's no problem at all and in a good, rosy mood, and we'll just get it all back tomorrow. I'm confident. I pick up the phone, and Martin he's late night.
Oh, he's like, hey, Ev.
He's like, Ev. And I've never heard Martin like this. Martin is a very buoyant spirit. He just seems to, in good and bad and up and down, he doesn't even recognize how...
Even in the direst of situations.
Yeah.
He keeps his cool. Driving on a Swedish road or a Switzerland road that you're about to fall off and hit a llama or something. Like everything was good. He was all good.
Martin is never wavers. We've been around him a lot. He never wavers on the Switzerland roads, and we've been with Martin, luckily.
Down the road.
But he didn't sound too stable. He sounded very sad, and he was letting me know essentially there was a break-in at the studio. break into the building over all the studios in, but as part of a microcosm of a larger, seemingly planned break-in, they kicked in a studio door and they just grabbed what was closest to the door out of the studio, and that was my 3 guitars, and along with a few other instruments that belonged to another individual who records at Martin's place, and some other minor things. Luckily, he didn't get hit too hard, Martin. I hate to think of him getting hit at all because he's such an amazing person and presence and amazing outlet for so many important artists to work with and create with. So it just sucks that Martin got hit, but of course it double sucks because the 3 guitars, 3 of the artifacts that had survived that hurricane, essentially, 2 of them were not at that space, and 1 of them was at that space, but it was... I wiped it down, refurbished it, and was continuing to use it. So one had that toxic foam on it, but the other 2 were fine. It was the only 3 I had left. I had used them for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of shows. The sentimentality attached, which is stupid to have for any object, was that of some sort of family member. I've been in Maine. I've been in, Fort Worth, Texas. I've been in,
I've been everywhere, man.
Kaiserslautern, Germany, and Bratislava, Slovakia, and, friggin' Jesus Christ, Lexington, Kentucky. These guitars are with me in every one of those places.
They've seen some shit.
They saw some things. I bled on those things like a mother. So that was... That was the start of it. It was a terrible loss. We went the next day and continued to record. I used borrowed stuff. We went to Europe 10 days later. I used borrowed stuff. We got back. I finished the overdubs on a borrowed guitar from Dean Rispler, who is the mighty mentor to many in the scene. He used to run Drug Front Records. He plays in the Dictators. He's been in Murphy's Law. Dean is the man. Dean, if you hear this at all, many, many people love you, and I love you. Thank you for letting me borrow that amazing Creston guitar to finish the overdubs on the album. But I basically used borrowed stuff all the way as far as I could. But the shining part of this, none of those have been recovered yet, but... a GoFundMe was started by my girlfriend Lauren Kelly. She does all our artwork and all the cinema releases. She's obviously cares a lot about me as well. I'm very much not a fan of things like Kickstarter or GoFundMe, but she said, I have to do this, and she put a page up, and ours
helped. It helped out. It really helped out.
That's the reason why I currently have a replacement guitar that is exactly what I need, better and stronger and more souped up than the number 1 of the 3 guitars that I had. What I'm rolling with now, I got solely because of the GoFundMe campaign. The leftover money I have that's going towards the second guitar I'm getting is solely because of that GoFundMe campaign. If any of those people hear this today, thank you directly from me and from the band. If and when you get a chance to see one of the shows coming up, I'll thank you in person too, or we'll make sure that you get free stuff of ours for as long as you'd like.
And that's really to kind of tie a bow on this whole thing is that when we've been down, we've been very fortunate to have people that have helped us out. Yeah. We have seemed to have made good connections with people, fans or whatever you want to call them, human beings, and they helped us out. So
I was gonna say, like, through all these tragedies, you guys, these unfortunate events, like, it seems like you come out stronger, and there's also a lot of you kind of like bond with the community more than before. Like, it kind of gets you, I don't know, readjusting. You're like, oh yeah, this is why. This is why we do it. This is why you do it.
100%. It's proof that for us it's this life thing, and we continue to move forward with it, and people that care about us can see that, and they can take a certain kind of like pride in our pride and help us when we need it. It's been huge having these difficulties. The difficulties at first present themselves that way, and in time they become the most positive parts of the whole experience.
You get to go to Europe, and then you guys are going back to Europe as we just broke with the Stroll turkey. You guys are going back there.
But to take a step back from the drumstick, but I want to let's try to uplift the spirits of the listeners after all this dire straits, this Knopfler.
After all this Knopfler,
I want to try. First of all, you're listening to Radio Free Brooklyn. This is the Stroll Show. We're sitting here with F. Gold of Cinema.
Yes.
Hello, F.
Hello again, Ev. Yes.
Hello again.
In case you just checked in, I want to try this fun thing that we kind of had the idea to do.
You're gonna try.
I want to do it. I'm
We're
going to
playing
sink
a
it
game.
in. I want to sink it in. I want to sink it
wanna
in.
play
I
a
really
game
want
with
to
you,
sneak
Ev.
it in. So I had a discussion with Ev about, during practice, after practice one day, we were, after talking about, how much counting our money and sitting
We
and looking at our
already
bank
have
accounts.
the money.
Yeah.
I see you Scrooge McDuck,
I mean, we
sitting in your
did this,
bank of
the
money.
Black Flag. I mean, we have the
Yeah, my
the money.
my drum set is made out of solid dollar bills.
Listen.
Every
just
rim shot is like hundreds flying to the audience.
To be really clear, we already have the money.
Yeah, if I didn't make it clear enough. Hey, hang on.
Let me shut up. Let me.
You don't know what these guys are even wearing right now. They're wearing Armani
God.
suits,
Oh my God.
fitted, of course. None of that loose stuff.
Dior.
My breast jacket, my jacket of my the inlining is
Dior.
hundies.
Yeah, that's and not even uncut hundies.
Uncut hundies, straight
Yeah.
hundies.
Dolce.
But okay, so here's what I want to do. I talked to Ev briefly after a practice one day because I try to get the fuck out of there as quickly as possible.
I know, you wanna
Try to
escape.
keep it
You
short
wanna-
and sweet. And I said, "What is a song that you remember that you haven't listened to in a long time, and you might want to listen to again and give kind of like a second opinion of the song, like a song that you liked as a child that you haven't listened to in years?" And I said, whatever it is, don't listen to the song. I want it to be listened to live on the air. Get your opinion of it before the song. Play the song, and then as we end the show, kind of discuss what your feelings are of it now. And you came up with never to disappoint. You came up with, what song was it that you pulled out of your ass?
Well, Paul posed this to me a few weeks ago at practice at the end of the session, and he kind of put it out there to me like, not necessarily a guilty pleasure, but something that there's been time that has elapsed in your life since it played any part, if that makes any sense to you. So I scanned my mind back, and I remember one of the first, like, quote-unquote rock and roll-ish esque type of songs that appealed to me when I first heard it, probably maybe in like 1985 or so. I might have been about 7 years old. Was a Billy Joel song.
Yeah,
And I knew Steve would have popped a chub for that.
I did.
Well,
I'm like
You
a
are
Flagstaff right now.
half-mast,
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to, I kind of feel like anybody who's seen us live, probably who's never had an interaction with me, probably assumes that
Joel would not come to mind.
Yeah, they probably assume that it's for the most part Slayer and Swans and other atonal effed up stuff that I listen to. or
Something
whatever
more
they
underground,
might
not something so popular and
this
poppy.
was this was when you were a youth.
Yeah, this
So,
was,
like 8.
Yeah,
7, 8.
very, very young, and I didn't have the best or the biggest inkling to kind of like quote unquote rock and roll or things that kind of make you conjure a feeling in you. That's what happened. I hadn't been really made to have a feeling conjured of any kind of like adrenaline or like butterflies in me that maybe like an upbeat kind of moving song might do for you. I hadn't had that feeling, and then I heard this song. This wasn't the first music I had ever heard, but it was this song. It was a song called Stiletto on Billy Joel's 57th Street album. I'm not sure of the actual year of release of the album. It was earlier in the 80s or maybe in the 70s, but I heard it in the middle 80s.
Yeah, maybe it's like 78. I don't know. I'm trying to
It
remember.
could
'cause
very well
there was
be.
a time I knew all this stuff, but
That would
It's say on
I've
Spotify,
since
but I
forgotten.
don't want to mess it up. I want to just
Yeah.
let's start playing the song.
All right, you guys
And
ready?
Yeah.
Fade it in, and
I'm
then
fading
I'd
this
love
in.
to hear it.
I'm fading. Oh, are we fading? in?
we'll get his Ev's second opinion on Stiletto.
Yeah. All right, guys.
So hopefully Spotify cooperates,
Ah, there we go.
and it did.
She cuts you once, she cuts you twice, still you believe. The wound is so fresh you can taste the blood, but you don't have strength to leave. You've been bought, you've been sold, you've been locked outside the door. But you stand there pleading with your insides bleeding, cause you deep down want some more. But when she says she wants forgiveness, such a clever man. you're still there waiting when she comes back for the kill. You've been slashed in the face, you've been left there to bleed. You wanna run away, but you know you're gonna stay, 'cause she gives you what you need. And then she said she needs affection, while she searches for the vein. She's so good with her stiletto, you don't really mind the pain. You don't mind the pain. Oh, 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 oh.
Okay.
All right, guys. Sorry about that. Not sure what's going on.
Is it the speaker?
Maybe.
It wouldn't be anything involving Cinema unless there
No.
was some sort of feedback that drives people to run.
Yeah, no.
Run.
All right, so
Now we're good. Now we're safe.
Wow.
We're all safe again.
We're all safe.
Okay,
We're
everybody's
back.
safe.
We're back, everybody.
And we're back. It's Stiletto.
So I want
Wow.
to know, what's your second opinion on Stiletto?
You know what?
It's still hitting you in that
you know,
same way.
It sat just fine with me. It brought me on a journey with some surprises. I didn't remember it kind of had an atmospheric opening, but I do remember that there was some sort of turnaround at the beginning that kind of caught me, and that's when they like kind of moved to this more of like a staccato, like.
Yeah, that's what my favorite things about Billy is some of those
Yeah, very eclectic.
staccato things that he does.
Yeah, he does that often. He makes good use. He'll break up a verse section or just a section. Like the movement in music is so important. When it's really good, you shouldn't notice it, but it should be the most thrilling part of the listen. I think that's why in listening to things now like King Crimson and really recognizing the drumming of Bill Bruford and listening to the Mahavishnu Orchestra stuff that Ginn turned me on to with this guy Billy Cobham. Billy Cobham is the drummer in that. And stuff that you do, honestly. Where it's like, where it's just like you're listening and you're like, why is this so effective? I don't know. Then you're realizing, oh my God, the drums are so right where they're supposed to be. I'm not even recognizing what they're doing to the composition as an overall piece. And I think that Billy Joel can use, he likes to be entertaining in every section of the song. So I guess there was a certain entertaining vibe that I felt when I was a kid that I still felt now. I'm not afraid to say I don't have, say, Billy Joel on my iPod or my device. I don't really listen to it often at home. I don't have an aversion to it, and I'm very psyched to let
Let the Joel out.
Yeah, a little tiny bit of the past that I've never mentioned fly. Yes, Billy Joel. Yes, important. Yes, I liked Stiletto, and I think that little.
It holds up. It holds
does
up.
hold
yeah,
up.
I think the idea of having guests do that sometimes, that's a pretty cool idea. Because like when you said it to me, then you were like, "Don't listen to it," and like it really was a fresh kind of listen just now. So
That's what I was looking for. I'm glad that we were able to squeeze that in.
Me
on
too.
our
I'm
first-
always happy to hear Billy Joel on any day, especially on a Sunday.
on a Sunday. And this has been
Church
our
of Joel.
our first episode to have my cousin Ev, my bandmate,
Yes.
Billy Joel.
An honor.
Yeah.
Steve's favorite musician.
Yeah, growing up, because I same
growing
age.
up.
When you're young, you hear. But I think with Billy Joel, he gives you a lot of instruments. For like a kid, and you hear just a rock band, you hear him just like guitar, drums, bass. But like Billy Joel's giving you saxophone, like synthesizer. He's giving you piano, guitar, everything.
Covered a lot of bases. Right?
I definitely think that kind of sonic smorgasbord is what initially appeals to a young pair of ears. Oftentimes, I think that's why mainstream pop is made with so many like bells and whipples and nipples and trebly little
and stuff.
ornaments. Like that. I mean, for me personally, my earliest memory of listening or hearing music My father playing for me, I must have been 2 or 3 years old, playing Frank Zappa and playing the Apostrophe and Overnight Sensation albums and the St. Alfonso's Pancake Breakfast, where I stole the margarine, and Don't Go Where the Huskies Go, and Don't You Eat the Yellow Snow. And I was like 3. I was 3 years old. I didn't know. Oh, this is a band. Oh, this is Frank Zappa. This is music. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, it's weird to think about what you thought of music at that age.
I was pointing at the boombox to my father, who I called Popcorn at the time, and I was saying, "Play it again, play it again." I mean, is there a sentimental value? 100% yes for me years later to Frank Zappa, but also there's this whole other value. But that's what I remember being very entertained sonically, and I think that Billy Joel, a lot of his stuff, he definitely fills in all the edges of the painting.
Yeah, he captured the imagination of a young Ev Gold.
Didn't think we'd wind up the Talking Joel today. Don't tell anybody, but listen. Listen again.
Never a better time to do it than on live air.
Yeah.
Yes.
Amongst friends. Well, amongst friends. But yeah, so this, I mean, that I think we can kind of come to a natural conclusion there. King, would you like to say any further things to our listeners, and maybe anything else coming up for cinema in the soon to be future?
Yeah. Well, I mean, right now we've been working really hard in the practice space, crafting a new set, new material from the new album that's coming that we'll be playing live. In June, we have some shows coming up. We'll be in New Haven, Connecticut on Saturday, June 11th at Fish House. We'll be playing in Manhattan at Fat Baby in the Lower East Side with a bunch of other crazy like-minded
Haven't played
bands.
Fat Baby yet in all the places. I don't think we've played.
I
know you've played it, but
yeah, it's still open. Initially the show on June 25th was going to be at Bushwick Public House, but now it's at Fat Baby. It's with the band Tyrannovox and a few other bands, and we just that just was announced like yesterday, and we're going to Europe in August, so we're kind of being a little bit more selective about what we do beforehand.
we have a lot going on.
Yeah,
but,
you guys are
but
very busy.
We're taking it chill at the same time.
Yeah.
We're trying to take it one pitch at a time.
Exactly.
You got to get there fast and take it slow.
Take it slow.
We'll be
Kokomo.
Yeah, we'll be mastering the new album, and hopefully it'll be out by the start of next year. And
awesome.
there might be some live video or new video that comes along. So there's nonstop cinema stuff. You know where to find us, cinemaband.com, or at the local venue closest to you. We'll wind up there when you least expect us on a Tuesday night when you thought no one would ever play this club then. We'll probably be there soon. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So you guys have been listening to the Stroll Show.
Yeah, the inaugural
Flow.
Stroll.
The inaugural
Season
Stroll
2.
Show. And you've been listening to Radio Free Brooklyn. Now join us again next Sunday, same time, same place, same Stroll time, same
That's
Stroll
right.
place.
We're also re-airing this episode, I believe, Thursday, 8 a.m. So if you guys missed it, I don't know why you would hear this and then miss it. And then listen to it
Thursday,
again, but
May 26th. That's May 26th, Thursday.
Oh, he's good with dates, this man.
He's very good with dates.
Don't want to miss the replay of the inaugural Stroll Show Season 2
yes.
featuring Ev Gold of Cinema.
For your morning drive, 8 a.m.
Please
Yeah,
don't
please.
miss
But also next week we got another guest coming up.
Tune in every Sunday at noon.
Please. But next Sunday we got our boys in Bobo Touch. If you guys don't know about them, that's Brian Bonds, the musician.
Oh,
nice.
That's
So they're coming
next
down.
Sunday?
That's next Sunday. So they do like this parody, like goofy things, making fun of like the subways and all this stuff. They're actually on the news on Channel 11.
Yeah.
But we got them coming up next week.
We'll cover that next week for sure.
Rock
But
and
now
roll.
we're going to have Ballyhoo take us out with our theme song that
With
we
our
stole.
favorite theme song that we all know and we all love.
Cerveza.
So we hope you guys
right.
enjoy it.
Thanks again. Bye.
It's about that time again, so pack your bags and get ready. Hitting the road with the best of friends, and you know that you're going